How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Soaps and Sass. I am one of your hosts, Baby Sass.
Hey everyone, it's Mama Sass over here.
And while I was going to say we have quite an interesting week ahead of us, I can't say that. Because it's not entirely true.
Okay. I don't know what you're referring to, so...
Well, I thought the end of August would be interesting, and I'll say it was to a degree, but...
Oh, you're talking about the week we're about to review?
Yes!
Oh, okay, because you said ahead of us. Okay,
sorry. The week behind us.
No, it's all good. I'm awake. I promise. I am. All right, why don't I start off with a recap for the week of August 25th to 29th?
Knock us out.
All right, so on Monday, Jason makes a request. He asks Britt to come home with him. Well, back to Port Charles. Maxie's loved ones get difficult news. Basically, she is now in a coma and there's nothing they can do for her at General Hospital, so they're sending her off to Boston. Rick gets a shock. Oh boy, does he. Not an electric shock, but he finds himself tied up in a basement. Martin briefs Laura, fills her in basically on Drew's latest shenanigans, and Alexis loses her cool because one of Drew's shenanigans is to serve her and others with restraining orders so they can't see Scout. On Tuesday, Ava issues a warning. I believe that was to Cody and possibly Christina at the same time. Lucy confides in Sidwell because Lucy don't have the sense God gave a goldfish. Brennan is conflicted. I guess he's trying to decide, do I tell Carly or don't I? I'm not really sure what he's conflicted about because, anyways, he doesn't seem to do conflict. Michael meets with Molly. She's filling him in on what happened with Cody.
Yes.
And Cody opens up to Dante and basically tells Dante the shenanigans he's been doing on Christina's behalf. Dante is amused. On Wednesday, Portia doesn't like what she sees, which is basically Jordan and Curtis having a conversation. Anyway, I'm not quite sure what she saw, but I mean, it's not like she's wrong, but I don't know, the reaction was overmuch, I think. Willow makes an offer. We will talk more about that because Willow... Gio and Marco find common ground. I thought that was kind of a stretch in the summary.
Oh, right.
But, basically their common ground is that their mothers died unexpectedly. That is about... Why are you playing in people's lives? And Brooklyn is encouraged because she has a really, really nice conversation with Gio.
Yeah. On
Thursday, Sunny offers reassurance. I don't remember to who. I don't remember if it was...
Stella.
Oh, it was Stella? Okay. Trina makes a discovery. Oh boy, does she. Gio and Dante connect. Again, I think that's a little bit of a stretch.
Not really. Not really.
They had a conversation. Did they connect?
A little bit. Like, we can't say to the extent that I guess they're implying, but they did a little bit.
All right. Portia crosses a line.
Oh, Lord.
Crosses a line where her clothes flew off.
She crossed the line that we saw coming, so really wasn't crossing a line.
Well,
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
She technically cheated on her husband. Moving on.
And again, this one is overstating the fact. Drew puts the screws to Michael. Really, he tried to put the screws to Michael. On Friday, Britt becomes suspicious because, Pascal's being a little
shady.
Squirrely.
Again.
Yep. Stella shares her fears. There's a tongue twister. She's concerned about going to jail, and it's like, yeah, that could really happen. They told you. Trina asks Kai for help. Again, a little bit of overstating the fact since that was like the last 0.4 seconds of the episode.
Right, but we'll get there.
Elizabeth is taken aback.
Very much so.
We will come back to this. And Carly receives an offer, which, again, overstating the fact this is Drew.
Right, and if I was gonna say if the description said she received an offer she couldn't refuse, she very much refused.
Right? They just said she receives an offer. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start happy or do you want to start sad?
Let's start happy because I know we're gonna get to I guess the sad / angry, and we're gonna rant. So let's start happy.
Okay, there's one happy we're gonna put on pause until we get to the story that it goes with.
Okay.
We're gonna start with comedy moments of the week.
Okay.
And what I have this as, because this is what you wrote.
Yep.
Musty,
dusty, dirty. Oh my goodness. So basically, after Ava showed up at Alexis's place to confront Christina for what she pulled with Cody, she gets into an argument with Rick about how he stole her divorce settlement and all of this and all that, and he's just kind of gloating and be like, "You're not going to see that money." It's da 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 da.
Yep.
And he's about to leave, and in anger and retaliation, she bashes him over the head.
Uh-huh.
And he's on the floor. He's knocked out. Blood is kind of blooming on the back of his head where he was hit.
This is how he finds himself in the basement, basically.
Right. But but another part I find hilarious is both Christina and Ava are just looking at him. It's like, is he breathing? And they're like, I don't know. And they're like, check. And it's
you
like,
touch him. I'm not gonna touch him. You touch him.
It's like, and then Christina does like the stupidest thing, being like, oh, we can tell if he's unconscious by shining a flashlight in his eye. It's like that doesn't tell you anything if he's unconscious. If you want to know he's unconscious, call his name. If he doesn't say anything, I mean, he's pretty much knocked out.
He wasn't responding.
Like that's considered unconscious.
Unconscious, I thought. Right?
And like dead would be he's not breathing.
Right, because I assume if he's dead, his eyes would not react.
Right, and I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, thinking she's like, oh, I have an idea. I thought she was gonna take like a mirror and put it to his nose to say if it's actually But no, she's like, I'm gonna shine a flashlight in his eye.
I know it was.
But anyway,
it's like you have time to go find a flashlight because
his phone.
But you're right. That whole scene was just ridiculous because before they check on a man, call an ambulance, whatever, they're having whole conversations.
The man could have brain bleeding. You're just
right. You don't know.
Right.
And then Alexis comes in.
Oh my goodness! I was just about to mention. She just like she stares at the two. She sees feet poking out from behind the banister. She's like, "What the?" And walks closer and sees Rick knock out on the floor. And she's like, "Christina, did you do this?" She's like, "No."
The way they played it was funny, but really and truly, I think I was a little horrified because I'm like, no, but there's a person unconscious. Like, nobody's going for help. I understand, you don't want to implicate anybody, whatever. But the whole time you're having conversation, and Alexis come in, it's like, does somebody want to tell me what happened? At no point are we thinking, you know what? Let's call an ambulance and then figure out what happened.
Right.
Try to staunch the bleeding. I mean, okay, it wasn't like he wasn't bleeding out or anything like that, right? It appeared to be just a skin abrasion just from the little bit of blood on his head, but enough to leave blood on the pillow when he was in the basement, which, by the way, costuming and set decor was a very nice touch because there should have been blood on the pillow.
Right. So, anyway, Christina, Alexis, and Ava come up with the idea that, like, okay, we're not going to turn each other in because it's like if Ava gets turned in, she's taking Christina down with her. So they're like, okay, no, we're going to do, this is the plan we're going to do. So Christina moves Rick's car into the garden shed or whatever, and they move Rick into the basement. But how we see Rick in the basement is he's on this, I guess, medical bed, which I don't know where they got it.
Well, it looked like a cot. I don't think it was a medical bed.
Well,
but okay.
It's
because it had the bars?
It had the bars, but it also looked like it was elevated.
Oh, okay.
Like you would with
Oh, you could just put books under the mattress or something. So, but
anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, so it had the bars, and it's kind of like, it starts at his feet, and it just pans up Rick's body, and we're like, okay, so you basically just strapped him to the bed, whatever.
Duct taped him, yeah.
Duct taped him down, and I'm like, okay, so because he's duct taped down, I'm expecting duct tape on this man's mouth. No, the man has a ball gag in his mouth, and we have to be like, wait, what are we, huh?
Right? That was like,
we have to be like,
excuse me?
And we looked at each other like, where the hell did they get this? And then later come to find out.
Next episode, I think it was.
Yeah, Alexis being like, isn't Ava so, like, useful? She just happened to have a ball gag in the glove compartment of her car. And we're just still like,
boy, you better have sanitized that, boy. Put that on the stove and boil that before you put that in somebody's mouth.
And to be honest, I'm like,
nasty.
To be honest, with how Alexis feels about Rick, I don't think she cares if it was used for anything or if it was sanitized or
anyway,
not.
Let us quickly move off of that subject, please. My stomach is turning. If we're going to flip to the other comedy moment of the week that we have listed here.
Okay.
Unless there's more you wanted to just say about that general situation.
All I will say is that Alexis was giddy as a schoolgirl. She's like, Rick is tied to a bed. This is never... Like, she was so happy.
I mean...
I think she's only ever dreamed of doing it, and then it's like, it's happening. And she's like, dream come true.
For real. And, Rick waking up screaming blue murder and then seeing Alexis like, oh, thank goodness you found me. Get me out of here. And Alexis is like, oh...
And just the way she's acting, it's like...
So.
No, but she's like, but Rick, how could you end up in the situation?
What happened?
And then he clues is like, wait, Are you a part of this?
Like,
I'm like, Rick,
yeah.
that took you too long, Rick.
It really did. Okay. So, speaking of people who are in captivity, our other comedy moment goes to Britt.
Oh my god.
Britt, when she come upon Pascal being sus as usual, and seriously, as great as the costume and set design did with Rick in the basement, could we please do something about Pascal? I still don't understand why this man is walking around in his pajamas. All he's missing is an ascot.
Well, here's okay,
and maybe a smoking jacket.
Hold on.
What?
Well, I hear what you're saying. It's more the shirt under the jacket that's giving more pajama than the rest of his fit.
Well, he just looks scruffy. And
I'm like, you're supposed to be a resort manager.
This is what I'm saying. You are running an upscale resort, and this is how you present? Come on. Every time I see him, I think of Mr. Furley in Three's Company. Like, what are you wearing? And I am not a fashionista by any means.
No, that's not
jeans and a sweatshirt and a t-shirt, is good enough for me. But listen, if I paid real money to go to a spot and this is the person who greet me, refund me, and refund my plane ticket here. No, this is no kind of presentation. You don't even have on a tie. What? Even Tomas standing at the door is looking more like a resort employee. Like somebody who could greet me, like a fantasy island, whatever it is. Not this custodian gardener. Really and truly, you just rolled out of bed today.
The man looks like he's a guest more than anything.
He don't even look like a guest.
I'm just saying.
He looks like a vagrant. That's what he looks like. He looks like a vagrant.
Okay, but anyway, moving on.
Sorry. That was a bit of a rant.
It was, but it's content, so moving on.
So Britt comes across him in the hallway like, what's up with that? And then sees Tomas. And why are they out here? And so, she's curious.
Of course.
And then, of course, Pascal, in his oh-so-subtle way, tells her to mind her business because that's not going to raise any spidey senses.
Though I like how she bit back at him is like, you, sir, are being a little too free and wild with your authority. Rein it in.
You will respect my authority. Which is a very terrible Cartman
impression. It is, but I'll deal with it.
You will respect my authority.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, anyhow. So Pascal goes about his business. She manages to, do that wonderful woman. Well, unless you're not strong enough, Tomas, to do what I asked you. Tomas is like, how dare you question my manhood, my strength and virility.
I just found it so interesting because she's like, Tomas, could you, unless you're not, strong enough. And he's like, well, how about I give you something else? And she's like, can you just go and move the computer? Like, she was like flirty, and then fed up.
I mean, that's how we do. That's how we just feel sometimes, for real. So, anyway, Tomas wanders off. So her key card, shockingly, has access to the room. Color me surprised. My girl opens the door, and just the look on her face, she's like, kind of like curious. What am I gonna find in here?
Yep.
There's like, what the heck did I find in here? Then it's like, oh my gosh, I found Joss in here.
And Joss is looking at Britt like, oh my gosh, she found me.
Right?
And then Joss is like, Britt, help
get us out of here.
And Britt's just like, kind of like,
Britt turned tail and ran. But
no, it took a second, because I think Britt went through this. No, Britt had a Brit.exe stopped working.
Yeah.
And then rebooted and was like, bye.
Yeah, she really was like, what the heck am I looking at?
Right, and already she was kind of like in a mood a bit because she's like, oh, Jason, and it's so stupid. But now seeing Jocelyn, we're thinking you're gonna use that phone.
Oh, for sure she's gonna call Jason.
It's like I saved her life, so let me save it again. And Jason is, and it's like, but it's also like the Carly thing, and so it's like.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna go quite so far as I saved her life or whatever. But I do think she is gonna call Jason. But how interesting a twist will it be, because you just called Carly and she's been very clear about how bitter she is about this relationship between Jason and Carly. Point. So how interesting would it be if she decided, you know what, Carly can figure out her own self where she child is at.
But here's the thing. I don't think she will. Brennan might end up being like, you know what, I will tell Carly, but it's too late because Jason already done told Carly.
Oh, for sure.
So she's
my man has to get blown out the water this year. I'm not going into 2026. And Jason did say
whatever happens to Carly will happen to you, and I think that extends to Jocelyn.
Well, okay. Since I've already been on a rant,
let's go on more. So
Yeah, let's go. Let's go on more. What had you hot?
Marco. Marco had me hot this week.
Tell me.
Because, okay, so the first part that had me hot was mainly the description, because it's like, oh yeah, Gio and Marco come to an understanding or whatever, and I'm like, what do Gio and Marco, like, I was so confused. I was like, what do these two ever have to do with each other? And then...
And we were like, had they even met?
Which was then explained. No, they had not. Which then, again, more explanation being like, Gio's grandfather is Sonny, and yada yada yada. Which then leaves Marco to leave the church, because he was lighting a candle for Natalia. End up at the Port Charles Grill.
Did he go to his father first?
No, he did not.
Oh, okay.
He went after. But my question is, I can't remember if he was having a conversation with Alexis, or if he was having... No,
Drew was talking to Willow.
No, Drew was talking to... Sorry, no. Marco came in after when Drew was talking to Nina, because Willow had already left. Yeah, that's what it was. And so Nina is kind of ripping into Drew about a situation we will come back to later. And then Marco decides to open his big mouth. After his father said, keep your big mouth shut. Nah, I can't stand by this anymore. Yo, Mr. Congressman, there's something you need to know. I.e., Judge Heron got paid. Do with this information as you will.
Can't believe it.
Can't believe it either. Like the minute Marco walked in and saw Drew, I said, Marco, keep your mouth shut. Marco, keep your mouth shut. And then he walks over to Drew and I said, Marco, keep your damn mouth shut. And he didn't keep his mouth shut. So then he proceeds to go back to Windermere to see his father and says, I have something to tell you and you're going to be mad. At least the man knew that his father was going to be mad. I will give him props for that.
But can we also give the actor that plays Sidwell some kudos? Because when he lost his temper,
woo! I
was just like, oops.
Right?
Sorry.
I'm like, I entered into something that I should not have entered into.
Woo! Hey, I was nervous.
Yeah, so Marco...
Well done, sir.
Yeah, so Marco basically says, I told Congressman Kane about Judge Heron and the payoff, and Sidwell lost his ever-loving mind. He said, why the hell would you do that? You have just ruined everything, and because of that, now we have to figure out what we're gonna do.
Because we gotta save our behind.
Right. Best case scenario, the truth comes out and everyone knows I paid off the judge. Worst case scenario is Sonny finds out that I paid off the judge, and now we's in bigger trouble.
Right.
Which then resulted into other things later.
Well, we can talk about that now, I think.
Oh, okay. Then it basically resulted in Chase being at Bobby's, talking to Judge Heron, when he should not have been talking to Judge Heron, giving her information that really has nothing to do with anything, and she couldn't take it into consideration on anything. And then after Chase left, the judge proceeds to call, I can only assume to be Sidwell.
Yep.
And later down the episode, because this happened on Friday, Danny and Rocco are walking by the pier, and they find a body. And lo and behold, the body is the body of Judge Heron.
Indeed.
I said, oh no, Madame Aubergenois.
Yep.
We'll never see you again.
I mean...
Unless she's not actually dead, and she's just unconscious, but her head's floating in the water. Who knows? Maybe they got to her in time.
But, maybe Gio will show up, because these guys don't have no lifeguarding certification. We found out when they were talking to Carly.
Right.
So... I don't know if they'll be able to pull her out of the water and save her.
No.
Wouldn't that be nice? And then she's like, Sidwell, do it!
No.
I know.
Because we all know... Unlikely. Yeah, it's so much likely that she's dead. They all think it's Sonny, and then...
Better ways for the plot to go, though.
Right? I'm just like, you had to take the last aubergine.
She's not dead in real life.
I know.
Okay,
I'm
take
just
the
saying.
last aubergine.
Sorry, I really liked her father.
Yes, in case anybody missed that from our previous podcast, because I'm pretty sure we talked about it.
We did.
I know it was on our list to talk about. I can't remember. Anyway, she is the actress is the daughter of Renee Aubergenois, best known, among other things, as Odo on Star Trek. He played Paul somebody on Boston Legal.
He was on one episode of Criminal Minds as a military sergeant or something.
Okay, and I remember him very fondly as Clayton from Benson back in the 80s.
I fondly remember him as Master Fu from Shaolin Showdown.
Sure. Or the chef in Ariel, Little Mermaid. Les poissons. Yes. Okay. So that was our commercial break. Sorry, we're not going to get our 4% royalty, but anyway. No. Okay, anything else that made you hot?
Willow, but I assume we're going to get back to that later.
Yeah, so why don't I twist that around then? Let's just talk about make it make sense.
You take
Which
it.
starts with, the week starts off, which is why Alexis was PO'd on Monday. Drew is serving everybody with restraining orders so they stay away from Scout.
Right.
Alexis,
The Davis
Christina, Molly, Rocco, and Danny.
Yeah. He's serving Danny, but because Danny's a minor, they have to serve the parent, and the parent being Jason.
Well,
Jason
that was my question, right?
Right, because you had said, "Can you even serve a minor?" And I said, based off something I'd seen in a previous show, I said, "Yes, you can. Like, you can serve a restraining order to a minor." Now discovering though, it has to go to the parent or the legal guardian.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can serve a minor with a restraining order. The restraining order though has to go to the legal guardian.
And Danny don't learn, boy.
I think Danny was... I do like what Danny's response, because he did tell Carly, he's a little down and that his dad was coming home, but he didn't want him to come home. And yes. Carly was like, are you mad at your dad or something? And Danny was just like, no, I'm not. It's just Drew served Rocco with a restraining order for Scout, and I'm supposed to get one too. But because I'm a minor, they can't give it to me, and they have to give it to my dad, and my dad's out of town. So... technically, legally speaking, I can still see Scout until my dad comes back, and I don't want him to come back because I still want to see my sister. So,
right? Which, again, very commendable
and very observant, because even I didn't think of that.
I did not know that. So that was good. I'm glad they explained that bit of the law. But and Carly was like, "Listen, don't play these games."
It's like, I hear what you're saying, Danny, but don't make it worse.
Don't play these games because Drew's a nut.
And then later, Danny and Rocco at the pier. Let's go see Scout. I still haven't been served. That's what I'm saying. And Rocco's
Danny, don't learn.
I would, but since I've been served, it would still be illegal for me.
Yeah, this is what I was like. Danny, don't learn. Why would you play that game?
Right, and then come to find out, because no one had asked this until Carly, and Carly's like, "Why serve Rocco? Rocco's not even, a part of it." And he's like, "Oh, because where Danny goes, Rocco follows. So kill two birds with one stone. Can't be too safe." So I was like.
And he's not actually her brother, so...
Yeah,
because he said that to somebody,
He said it to Alexis.
It was Alexis? Yeah, we're going to stop all that noise.
I'm like, the logic behind... I'm like, okay, the logic behind it is like, where one goes, the other one will follow. So I'm like, okay, I understand, but you're crossing a line. And I'm still wondering how Lulu felt about that.
Well, it would have been more interesting if they had served it to Dante. Let's just say.
Ooh, that's true.
So, in any case.
But what I do find interesting is because... So, after, Alexis finds out about... Or getting served because she was blindsided on that front. Like, Molly shows up and is like, "Mom, slow your roll, whatever. And then, after Alexis leaves, Drew's like, "By the way, if someone asks your name, just give it to them." Or whatever. And I was like, well, don't tell her that. Because now she's not going to do it. Like, if I see someone I know... who's close to me get served, and you done tell me, by the way, if someone asks your name, just own up to it.
Molly would have given her name anyway.
20 minutes later, "Excuse me, are you so-and-so?" I'd be like, "No." I to avoid getting her, I'd be like, "No. You're looking for someone else. That's not me." What?
Listen, I don't even know what to tell you. But I don't think Molly would have lied anyway. Christina would lie about her name. Molly wouldn't, being an officer of the court and all of that kind of business. But
I don't think it's illegal to lie if you're trying to get served.
I'm still trying to...
Hey, I'll ask the aunt.
Listen.
I'll ask the aunt.
Refuse to answer. Don't lie. If ever you find yourself in this situation. Civil play.
I just don't talk to people who are people of authority.
What I don't understand is what judge would sign all those restraining orders?
Someone in his pocket.
Would that not raise a flag? Yeah, clearly. But let's say he was doing this legit. Would that not raise a flag with a judge? Why do I need to sign all these restraining orders?
Obviously, yes. But we know Drew is not going to do this legit.
Agreed.
Already
agreed.
with his, "I'm going to get Judge Heron investigated. Then, once she's off the case, I'm going to find a judge who's more amenable to me, and who's basically in my pocket." We obviously know he's got someone either paid, owed a favor, whatever the situation is.
How many favors does he have though? Because didn't he call in a favor with somebody else? I know last week he called in a favor Or he said, Kai, I need you to get on
Yeah, but that
whatever.
wasn't a favor.
No, it wasn't. But this week he called somebody and said, I need a favor.
I don't know who.
Like, how many favors does this guy have?
Well, I don't think it was this week, but he had. But I guess it was one. No, because I was thinking when he called in the thing for Stella, but he's like, I want to report potential fraud, not I need a favor.
Exactly. So I can't remember what he was calling about. It'll probably come to me later. But anyways, at some point, this guy's got to run out of favors. I mean, he's going to run out of something based on all the comments that went around this week in this show. Maybe I'll say that for predictions. All right. Yeah. So in the scope of all this, now, so now we set the background for what Drew is doing and, restraining people and blah, 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 and went to Carly talking. Well, first he went to Michael.
First he went to Michael,
and with the information that he had gotten from Marco, and talking about your dad paid off a judge and this is what you're going to do and 50% custody and rah, 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 rah.
And he's like...
And it's like, again...
And I love how Michael's like, Sonny wasn't even in the courtroom. He's like, yes, but isn't that just convenient? It's like... Moving on.
I don't even understand. And it's like, why would Michael listen to you? If Willow came in, with the same story even, if Willow came in with the same story, I think he's more likely to listen to Willow.
Right.
Probably the exact same answer.
Right.
But already you going in with all of this baggage. Like, what? I'm coming to you with an offer on Willow's behalf. Why am I talking to you? The
thing that really gets me though is how both him and Carly both pointed out the same thing. Is like, I don't remember specifically what it was, but Drew is saying all of this, and then they're like, "You don't have any proof." Like, because like, if you're saying this and you're trying to get me to do this, it's like you don't have proof. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, for me, I was like, why would you play your cards like that? It's like with Portia. You made sure you had the proof. Like, you're like, oh, Portia done drugged me. Mm-hmm. And it's like, but you had no proof that she did it. And then Brad comes in with the blackmail, and you're like, you know what? I have this on you. I don't care that you drugged me. I have this on you. Yeah. Get your proof, and then we'll be like, oh, and if you don't, whatever, then we'll...
Because he's that kind of arrogant. He is so...
The man just doesn't think things through.
Arrogant. Like, honest to... I just... And anyway, I mean, I've said this before, so I will just say this again very, very quickly. The way he is playing Drew is who I believe him to be in real life. Like, I don't even think the man is acting anymore. Like, really and truly. It's like, it's just too easy for you. You just come in and be yourself. I don't know what it would take to convince me otherwise, which is terrible, because I know nothing about this man. Not a thing. But anyways, so he tries it with Michael. Michael's like, look, man, the door's over there. He tries it with Carly. Carly's like, Drew, come on, man.
And then threatens to kill him.
Well, this is where I was going. I was going to save that for predictions, because everybody talk about they're going to kill Drew. I could not be happier.
And everybody...
I could not be happier.
Everybody threatening to kill Drew, and everybody listening and hearing that threat. It's like Kai hears it, Elizabeth hears it. It's like everybody just hearing threats made against Drew.
Could not be happier.
So
the suspects will be plentiful.
Here's the thing, though. This is what I'm wondering, though. Because Kai heard Curtis threaten to take out Drew. Mm-hmm. But now that he knows that Drew messed with Stella, would he ever say anything? I don't think so. Even though he's like, I am an honest man. I have integrity. But it's like, no, but it's Stella. So would you actually tell the cops if Drew ended up missing or dead? I did hear Curtis threaten to kill him.
I think he might.
Then on the front with Elizabeth.
And just because I'm seeing the plot point develop, right? So
I'm like, then on the point with Elizabeth, she just heard Carly threaten to kill Drew if he, messed with Michael or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's like, with the conversation Elizabeth just had with Willow, would she also say something? Because we know how Elizabeth is.
Well, so I don't know.
That's the question.
It is the question. Because the suspects are plentiful. Sidwell.
Yep.
Curtis.
Yep.
Portia.
Yep.
Nina.
Yep.
Carly.
Yep.
Michael.
Yep. Sonny.
Oh, well, yes, Sonny. I don't even know how I didn't put him at the top of the list. Ultimately, could be Willow. But the one I was going to say for predictions that I want to throw in there... Sorry. I'm laughing because I know you... What, did you read my mind?
No. It was a thought. I'm like, imagine if...
Because you also got Alexis and Scout. Alexis and
Molly, and
Molly, but Scout is the one I want to throw in. I know.
The look on my face is, what the hell are you talking about? What would a 12-year-old child do to a Navy? Nah, I'm gonna stop that last
to a
statement.
Navy SEAL.
I'm gonna stop the last comment again, because again, this man might be a Navy SEAL, but as Ada said, can't fight.
Oh my gosh.
But no, it's not even that. The thought that popped in my head is like, because we know Albright don't suffer no fools, as she had that conversation. But I'm like,
Albright could be an next one.
How will Albright feel? Because I wouldn't be surprised if she has another conversation with Rocco, and if Rocco just happens to be like, oh yeah, and I want to see my sister, but her dad gave me a restraining order. Like, how will Albright feel knowing that her AKA grandson done got served by this psycho ass congressman?
I don't know. But we are so off topic though.
Because
we're still on Make It Make Sense. So we're on a tangent and we're down a rabbit hole. So anywho, coming back to where we were and skipping past a whole bunch of stuff. So Willow and Drew are meeting at cafe, whatever that is.
Because Willow done said, I need your help.
Right. And in the course of the conversation, because, she realizes just how powerful Drew is, and we're going to come back to that, she says to Drew, if you can get my kids back, I will come back to you.
I almost pitched the remote of the TV.
What?
I almost got my butt whooped. I almost got yeeted off this earth because I almost threw a remote at their TV.
What did she say? Because I think we paused that so hard. It's like, she said...
I had to look at you. I said, did she just say what I think she just said? You're like, yes.
Listen, I couldn't even kiss my teeth. I was mentally kissing my teeth so hard, but everything shut down. I was just, this girl has lost her mind.
Mom, the way I attribute it, especially after when she had that conversation with Elizabeth, the way I see it is, she was in a healthy relationship. She actually, see, my girl, she grew up in a toxic environment. Somehow this girl got hooked on drugs. Then Chase came in and said, nope, removed her from the situation and got her clean. Then
who was hooked on drugs?
No, sorry, I'm using a metaphor.
Did you start with that?
I said this is how I see it. I'm using a metaphor. As far as I know, Willow was never hooked on drugs. Anyway.
Listen, this is how I see it. It's like, wait a minute. That didn't happen. I thought I missed part of the conversation.
Wait.
Oh.
Okay. So yes. So Chase came in and said, nope, let's get you clean. Got her clean. Then she had a little taste. And that was with Michael. But then Michael said, no, we can't be doing this. We can't do this. So then she got clean again. But then she had a little taste of Drew. And then she just went full-blown addict again with Drew. And everyone's like, Willow, stop it. Let's get you clean. And then the truth came out about about Nina sleeping with Drew. And she just got sober real quick. And then Drew said, I'm trying to respect your space. And in that moment of saying, I need to respect your space, she got a little taste again. And she's like, but I miss this. I want this. And so she's like, no, but I must resist the temptation. But then something happened again, and she called. Right, and then they're like, and then Rick came in saying, you need family witnesses. You need family character witnesses. And she's like, then she sobered up, and she's like, Christina. And Christina said, bonfire upon you and the horse you rode in on.
Baby sass, man. I can't.
I'm almost there. And then she's like, bonfire upon all y'all. I'm going back to the addiction. And she went to Drew. And then she said, I will come back to you if you can get my children. And then she had the conversation with Elizabeth. And I'm like, no, she's full blown back in the addiction of Drew. That is Drew.
My mercy.
Her eyes were so dilated. They were like saucers.
Oh my goodness. Listen.
I saw the stars in her eyes.
Oh, I can't. This is the kind of mess that makes me stop watching a show. Because it just gets so ridiculous.
You'd be on the same plane as Uncle Sass's wife, because She
so
dropped
ridiculous.
it. She's like, until this foolishness with Drew and Willow is done, I'm not coming back. Sure,
Anti-Sass? The other Anti-Sass? Oh my gosh.
sure. I'm like, I didn't want to give her the same name as Anti-Sass, so I was like, man. But yeah, she's like, I read the synopsis. I can't even watch the episodes. I was like, fair enough.
Nah. Just insane. Now, here's the part I don't understand. This is where I was going to make it make sense.
Okay.
Because we're still there. Excuse me. One of the things Willow says to Nina when Nina's like, what are you doing with this guy?
Yeah.
Willow says to Nina, Drew told me that you forbid him from telling me the truth.
Yeah, that also pissed me
And
off.
Nina's like, what are you talking about?
Pretty much whipped her head around to Drew and said, you liar. You lie fibber.
And it's like, why? Why are you so quick to give Drew the benefit of the doubt
But not
and
your
not
mom.
Nina for the exact same act? Like, because of the level of relationship, I suppose? Which, you know, I guess I can see that. But,
Again, the manipulation.
But you're going to let Drew back in, but Nina has to stay out?
That's my point.
Like, it just...
Because here's the thing. She knows Nina is right. But she knows Nina can't do anything to get her kids back. So she's like, I'm not... It's like, she knows she knows Nina would actually help her.
That's exactly it.
She knows Nina is actually sorry and wants to make amends, and she can't accept that. She's like, no, we've gone through this back and forth from time, and I can't do that again with you. I know you're right, but it's like, I'm not ready for that. So I'm going to go back to the one who actually manipulates me, because it's easier to stay with a manipulator than I face the truth and know it's like, let's go.
Right. Okay, so let me jump from there then, which you already started to mention, and go straight into Delulu of the Week, which, again, has to be Willow. Has to be, because as she says to Liz, and I really, like, where I just was like, what? Before I fell out of my chair. She says, this man is powerful. He reached across an ocean and stopped me from talking to Michael. And that is power. And Liz was like,
Mom, did you hear like the admiration in her tone?
Oh my gosh.
And again, the starry lovey-dovey look in her eyes when she said it.
What? I mean, okay, Caitlin Mullen, you are acting your backside off. This is phenomenal because I totally believe your character.
Right. But
totally.
as Liz
like,
said, and as Liz said, like, I like how she takes Willow's hands and is like, but Willow, that's not power. That's money and manipulation.
Oh my goodness.
And she's like, and Willow's like, and? Like
yeah,
they're two different things.
What's your point?
Like
okay.
It's the same thing. Power, money, manipulation, all the same thing. It's like, no.
It's like, but you don't even love him. Don't worry about it. I will do what I need to do for my kids.
She even asked, she's like, do you still love him? No hesitation. Yes. I mean, no. Like, there was no hesitation when she said yes, but then had to stop, pause, and be like, wait, no, I don't. And it's like, Willow, you literally, like, you didn't hesitate when you said yes. You clearly still love him, but it's the manipulated part of you. The actual part that has common sense and is actually making good decisions said no, but the manipulated part of you grabbed the conscious Willow who's like common sense and basically stuffed the ball gag in your mouth saying, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Let me take over.
I'm saying this story,
it needs to end.
Yes, it does. As much as I hate it, I appreciate the emotions it's evoking because I spend half my time watching Willow and I'm horrified. I'm just horrified. And it would be very different. Look, the repercussions or the ramifications are the same in my mind if he were beating her around.
Yeah.
This emotional abuse though is just like, baby girl.
And honestly,
please.
And when it comes to emotional abuse and physical abuse, I'm like, I sit here and sometimes I ponder, I'm like, which one is worse?
I think emotional abuse is worse.
Which is understandable. Because I'm like, physical scars can heal. The emotional and mental ones take so much longer,
and you can't see them.
You can't, and so some people, and you don't even, and at least with physical abuse, you can see the signs way more than emotional and mental.
Well, that's
abuse.
it, and somebody can really make a good effort to step in and help you, right? But emotional abuse, nobody can see that.
No, and this is the part where I'm like, I wish Liz had said something, because it's like, and no one's reiterating this fact because of what Michael says. Guys. She grew up in a cult. She never got the help she needed, and she's falling back in the same patterns. But she
herself is saying it. She keeps saying, because she heard it. She heard it on some level, because she keeps saying, if I get help, blah, 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 blah. Right? So she heard it.
But she's not saying it in the sense of, I need to go see someone for help.
Agreed.
She's saying, I need help from other people to help me get my kids back. I need to work on myself for my kids.
Michael said, if I get help and get away from Drew, blah, 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 blah. She heard him. She can repeat it back. She has not registered it fundamentally, I have to present myself as the most healthy person. So she heard it.
See, and the thing is, I'm like, okay, you were doing great, Will. It's like, you were working more. You were getting the character references. How about you also go to therapy? That'll also show the judge you're actually getting the help you need, because it's like, you just went through a trauma. You lost your kids. You had a mental breakdown. Go see someone about that.
Really and truly, I hope Liz suspends her. I hope Liz suspends her permanently or has her fired, because
I hope that
that's not somebody I want around me for my care.
No, I also hope
not good judgment.
I'm sorry, but I also need Lucas to go be like, no, I'm reporting you to HR for the slap.
Oh, I don't know if he'll do that at this point. But he may refuse to work with her going forward, and I'm hoping, just anyway, real life scenarios, right? But
either way,
I'm just horrified.
And the thing
every time.
The thing is that makes this even worse is she keeps saying, it's like, I know who Drew is. But she's saying it's like, the better the devil you know than the devil you don't, and I know this devil, so I will do what I need to do to make sure I get my kids back. Even if that means living with someone who hurt me and I don't, and whatever, so be it. But I'm like,
that's what you want your kids to see? Nah, man, honey, you are blocking your blessings.
I'm like,
blocking your blessings.
I'm like, yes.
I know it's a soap opera.
I'm like,
but cheese on.
And here's the other thing that's kind of confusing to me. Willow, yes, when she was married to Michael, she's like, Michael has money and all this stuff, but I want to keep working. I want to have my own money. Which I'm like, fair enough. So I'm like, how is it you're staying at Elizabeth's house?
What happened to your money?
Right? I'm like, you can't, while you're at Elizabeth's house, when you're on your days off, you can't look for a place to stay for your kids. Because, you don't want to go to Nina's. You definitely don't want to go back to Drew's. So you can't look for a place to...
Clearly she's on her way back to Drew's, because she flipped the script. Where she had said, and I don't know if we already mentioned this, apologize if we're duplicating, where she had said, if you get my kids back, therefore, until and unless my kids are with me, I am not with you. Fast forward 5 minutes, she's talking to Liz, just wanted to let you know so you don't hear from anybody else, I'm getting back together with Drew. Fait accompli. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Espèce de malade, what are you doing? I'm foaming at the mouth now. Oh my gosh. Oh.
So yeah.
Anyways,
this is, so basically, let's just say this is a what have me hot, make it make sense. What'd you do that for? The Lulu, it's
all
covering.
Of it.
Yeah, it's covering all categories.
Willow.
Save for hero, villain, heartstrings, comedy.
Jeez on. Okay, sorry. So basically, this whole podcast was a rant.
I did say we are going to rant. So start with the happy-go-lucky stuff first.
Okay, so how much time?
We are 47 in.
Okay, so 12 minutes. All right. Okay, so let's wrap this up then, and pivot just a little bit. So you mentioned heartstrings. So let me go a little bit.
I didn't mention heartstrings.
You did. You said it covers just about everything except villain of the week, hero of the week, heartstrings. You said that. So now let's talk about. I'm gonna go with make it sassy first, and then tie into heartstrings.
Oh, sorry. The way you had worded it had me confused. I'm like, we didn't talk about it. So what do you mean we covered it? What? Okay, no, I follow. Proceed.
All right. So make it sassy. Do you remember what you had said?
No.
Okay. So make it sassy was Lucas, because as we said off the top, Maxie's now going to Boston. She's being transferred. She's in a coma. Brooklyn and Lulu come in and they want to see Maxie.
Yes.
And do you remember what Lucas said?
Yes, Lucas said, don't fight because Maxie isn't here to mediate.
Right. And they were like, we won't.
But
And they didn't.
They didn't. But it's like, damn. That was... Damn. That's all I can say. I don't even...
All right. And then I will segue you right into your heartstrings with James.
Oh, this boy. And it doesn't help because of what you told me. I was like, okay, so basically...
Well, I told everybody. I told everybody on the podcast.
I know. That's what I'm like, it doesn't help with what you told me. But, so... Anyway, so basically, Lulu and Brooklyn bring the kids over to the hospital to say goodbye to their mom before they go to the Boston. Georgie goes in with, I think it was Felicia?
Spinelli.
She went with, thank you. Okay, she went with someone. I was like...
So yes, she went with her father.
Yes, so Georgie went with Spinelli to say goodbye to her mom, and then I thought Cody was going to go with James, but it turns out it was Cody, James, and Mac who went in to go say goodbye to Maxie. But James was like, Cody, do you want to go in? And I think Cody was like, no, it's okay. Or James was like, I'm scared. Like, I don't know what to say. And Cody was like, I'm scared too. Do you want to say goodbye to her with me? And he's like, yeah. So all three of them went in. Mm-hmm. And Max starts off first. And, you know, he says some really sweet things. Gave a little bit of sass as well. I don't remember what he said. But it was really sweet and very sassy. And just, And then... I think James went next, and he was just like, you know, you gave me Dad's badge, and you told me to be brave, and that I was like him, and all of this, and all of that, and I was just like, oh my goodness, James, you sweet, sweet little boy. And in the end, James gave Maxie Nathan's police badge for her to hold on to so she could be brave and be strong and remember, you know, and I was just like, all right, here's the sign. I'm like, this is cute, but here's the sign. You've given her Nathan's badge. Mm-hmm. If that is not a sign that Nathan freaking West is coming back, I don't know what is.
Agreed.
And then Cody said some really sweet things, and then they left and said goodbye.
All right. And you have an honorable mention for Heartstrings.
I do have an honorable mention. This honorable mention goes to Gio and Brooklyn's conversation at the church, because Gio, again, lighting a candle for his mom because it was his mom's birthday, and Brooklyn had walked in, and she didn't notice Gio at first, but then through the corner of her eye, she saw someone was there, and she thought it was Gio, and she's holding flowers, and she's like, oh, Gio, I'm so sorry, like, I didn't know you're here, you know, I just came to drop these flowers off for your mom, since it was her birthday, but I can leave if you like, and he's like, no, stay, you know, today's not about me, it's about her, and then they just kind of start talking, and she kind of, you know, gives a little memories here and there about, like, when she would play her concertos and all of this, and Gio's remembering them. And they kind of start talking a little bit about, you know, Brooklyn giving Gio up and how he's a little mad at her mom because she didn't tell him and all this. And she's like, and Brooklyn says, it's like, she was just respecting my mom and Gloria's wishes, but I think if it was her choice, she would have told you and all this. And in the end, Brooklyn's like, you know, when I was giving you up, like, all I would pray for is that you were loved and that you went to a good home, and I'm thankful for Camilla. I'm, like, grateful to Camilla because she gave you that, and I will forever be grateful to her and be in her debt for that. And it was just like, and in this moment, I could tell on Gio that he really did hear her in that moment, and it was like, yeah, giving you up was hard, but she answered my prayers by doing the one thing I always hoped for you. And, you know, I'm not mad at her for that. And I'm just like, okay, I see this as a possible open road for Gio to come find Brooklyn soon. Mm-hmm. And actually talk and, you know, try to make amends. But what I like is that Brooklyn didn't push his boundaries. She didn't, you know, like, overstep. She kept it really simple. And in the end, she was like, you know, I'll leave you to spend time with your mom and everything. And then she wants to go find Dante and tell Dante that Gio needs his dad. But overall, the overall scenes involving Gio and Brooklyn this week were just perfect.
Yep, I agree. I think what I really appreciated about the whole conversation, number one, Brooklyn consistently referred to Camilla as his mother.
Yes.
Never once took that position away from her.
Nope.
And I also felt how we had seen Brooklyn with Gio at the beginning when they were when they first
Yeah,
were
it was
together.
back then.
It was the exact same thing.
Right.
She didn't change her posture. She didn't assume any position
Nope.
that he hadn't given her or anything like that. It was like, yeah, we're family, we're cousins, or whatever it is, and she kind of maintained that relationship level.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really good, and she encouraged him to hold on to those memories and revalidated just how important and precious they were.
Right.
And I think Gio was also touched that she remembered it was Camilla's birthday.
Right. And and the other thing too is that it's like she even said to him, it's like, your mother loved you. Like, don't ever doubt that she did. She loved you, and you know, you were her whole world, just as she was yours. Like,
yeah, and Dante reinforced that.
Yeah, it's
too.
like nothing will ever change. And then like just that, it was just like, yes, it's like, yes, she was your mother in every way, shape, or form that she could have been. Maybe not biologically, but yes, she was your mom. And that will not change. And then later, Gio said, it's like, you know, he's telling his mom, you know, it's like, you've always told me, you know, music comes from the heart and you play from the heart, but I feel so lost, I can't even do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just to me personally, I'm like, I think, like, I'm like, sure, okay, you can't play from the heart, what you feel is lost, so play that lost feeling. Sure, you can't play the happy and the joyful and all that, but it's like, play the anger, play the loss, play the sad, play the confused. Like, you can still play, like, your heart is feeling these negative emotions, like, use that. Sometimes the best music comes from those negative emotions, because it's like, it's a whole new sound that you've never gone to, and sometimes the saddest songs make the most beautiful music.
Absolutely.
So it's like, do that. It's like, but, you know, I understand, he can't play, he can't, he's lost that spark, and that was the other thing he said. He's like, I always thought my musical talent came from my mom. Which it did. It did. It came from from Brooklyn, who is your mom, and then Camilla just reinforced that, but through violin, rather than vocally.
Yep.
Rather than writing her own music. Like, so yes, you got that from both your mothers, just in totally different ways. And I'm just like, I need the rights to keep going in this direction. Another thing I do appreciate, and it wasn't Brooklyn and Gio, but it was Dante and Gio, and you said this finally, is like that that Dante finally apologized to Gio.
That was so long in coming. My mercy. And I'm also glad he said, I'm not saying this just because I found out that we're father and son, but because I actually acknowledged I was wrong.
It's like, I was way out of line.
You know, now, will that build the bridge?
No,
I don't know.
I also,
but Gio seemed a little more inclined.
Yeah, I think what really, I like that they had this, you know, close moment on Camilla's birthday, because really he's like, it's not about me, it's about my mom, and they use that to help kind of mend fences a little bit. Like, the fence isn't fully fixed, but it's like, there's still some holes that need to be patched up.
Oh, for sure.
But it's definitely an opening. And the last thing I appreciate about that conversation, at least with Dante, is that before Gio officially leaves, he stops and he says, if you had found out about me when I was younger, like, what would you have done? Like, would you have claimed me? And he's like, and Dante's like, I would like to think I would have stepped up and been the father that you deserved, but unfortunately we'll never know. And Gio's like, okay. And leaves.
Yeah, it was pretty honest.
Yeah.
It was pretty honest. I'm glad that's the answer he went with.
And I also like how the first time Dante ever held a baby was with Gio.
That was a great story.
It's like, the fish is burning, I'm holding you, and then Camilla, I'm panicked, the people in the kitchen are panicked, but Camilla walks in, you see Camilla, and the whole world just stops for the two of you. It's like,
that's a great memory to share with somebody, really and truly. So,
all right.
Villain of the week. I mean, it's got to be Drew, but anyway.
It sucks because you told me I can only have one.
Oh yeah, I did say that. Eh?
You did.
All right.
Which I'm like,
because Drew isn't actually my vote, but I mean,
I'm like, for this one, I say goes hand in hand, but it's really like, yes, Drew was the villain, but Marco was villain this week because of if he had just kept his mouth shut, Heron wouldn't be dead, and people would not be in the situation that they're in. So, yeah, it's ultimately Drew, But Marco definitely gets a hand in the villainy for that.
With an assist from Marco.
Oh, I will say real quick. Another comedy moment was the entire interaction between Martin and
Tracy
this week.
Oh my gosh. Yes. When Martin went to Tracy for help with Stella.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
Your villain, unless you just stick with Drew.
No, but thank you for the reminder that I can only pick one because I'd written two. So I'm going to go with Isaiah. Gannon.
No, I know who you meant. I was trying to be like, explain.
Because
I'm like, there's a few moments, but I need one very specific. If it was like the hostility towards Jordan, the sleeping with Portia.
All of it. Why are you up in people's business? Mind your business.
Okay.
Mind your business. And then from there, right, because he had his agenda, because he's been eyeing Portia for a minute, we know he goes into the office, he finds Portia upset, she can't get the ring off her finger. Okay, fine. He takes the ring off her finger for her. That was done. Portia was good. It was off her finger, but then he yanked her into him and escalated the situation.
He made it worse by doing the tinsel with his hand.
Okay, sure. I didn't catch that.
He did it.
I just caught the yank and I was like, that wasn't necessary.
And
she can lunge at you her own self. You don't have to participate.
Right, and while I understand, yes, her marriage is kind of done, it's like, hello, wait until the divorce papers have been signed before you jump into bed with somebody.
So,
because for me, I was like, oh, Trina finna walk up in on this. And unfortunately, Trina did not walk up in on this. I would have loved it. She would like, Mom, ah!
Yep.
And it's like, Mom, how could you do this? And then Trina would have been put in a position of, do I tell my dad or do I keep my mom's secret?
That would have been an interesting plot point.
That's why I'm like, you did us dirty by not having Trina walk in on this.
Absolutely.
I was waiting for Trina to notice that the ring was not on her mom's finger anymore, but
right. Finally, Kai found out. That's great. So yeah, okay. So I won't even mention my other villain of the week. And then you had hero. Who's the hero?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to James for giving his mom.
Oh, nice.
That beautiful speech, but also the badge. I have another one, but again, you said I can't have two.
My hero of the week is gonna go to Liz for telling Willow she is enough. She's doing all the right things. She was building back her life.
Right? The one thing that pissed me off is Willow's like, can you promise me that I'm enough? And Elizabeth's like, no. It's like, yes, because you can't always guarantee that you are enough to do something. Especially in a situation like this. Like, yeah, you need help. You can't do this by yourself. But you don't need Drew. And Willow's just like,
No, but yeah, exactly. It doesn't take away from it. I think Liz was absolutely on point. You are doing all the right things. The judge will see what you're doing. You're
right. But see, now this leaves me with the question of why did she go to Carly's office? Because it's not like she knew Drew was there. So she clearly went to go talk to Carly, but the question is why? Like, we'll
find out on Monday.
Right, I'm like,
Tuesday.
Tuesday, because today's a rerun. But it's like, was it to tell Carly's like, Willow just told me she's going to go back to Drew? Was it,
Probably. You know, maybe to intercede on Willow's behalf, because when Carly and Michael find that out, it's gonna go nuclear. So
all I can say is the people be wildin'.
All right. So what I say for the end, and hopefully folks will find this as funny as we did. You had a very self-inflicted comedy moment this week.
Oh my God.
Well, you had me also killing myself laughing.
I know. Okay, so basically, Drew's in his office on the phone with Willow, basically telling her, this like, I got a thing to get your kids back, whatever. And Curtis comes in and hangs up the phone while he's in mid-sentence. And the thing is, the way they had panned the camera, I was like, oh, right, they're in McConkey's office. And I'm like, McConkey must be rolling over in it.
That's where it came from. Oh.
Yes, they're in McConkey's office, yeah. So I said, McConkey must be rolling over in his grave being like, this is the man who I chose to be my successor? And on top of that, you doing all this foolishness, but where's my Esplanade? You promised me an Esplanade and I still don't have it. Where is it? It's like, you got Measure C in place. I don't care. I just want my Esplanade.
My name and Focus!
I swear, this man is just rolling over in his grave. He's like, I done picked the wrong. I don't know what.
Oh,
He's like,
man.
I don't know what I know what I saw in you, Drew, but the whoever I saw was not this man. So I'm like rolling over in his grave, and it's like, and now you screwed me out of an Esplanade. I'm done with you.
I'm telling you. And put Ezra Boyle in there instead.
No,
Anyways.
that's gonna be worse.
Yes, it will.
Actually,
All
no,
right.
I don't think it'll be worse than Drew, but it won't be good.
Okay. So, do we want to slick any predictions in? I've already made mine.
Right,
Scout shoots her father.
If Scout did that, oh my god. But, okay, so any predictions? So, right, so again, Jason's definitely, Brit is definitely gonna call Jason about Joss. I'd be surprised if she didn't. Jason is gonna rat Brennan out before Brennan can rat himself out to Carly. So that all ties together. I'm really hoping the judge ain't dead, but the judge is dead, and they're all gonna think Sonny did it.
Yep.
Like, yeah, the picture is not being painted well.
How many weeks left for Colette? Since you're talking about the WSB.
Oh my goodness! And on top of that, Colette, your French is still.
Yeah,
You were slipping in and out of accents again this week. Probably, I don't know, because she's in and out, so I really don't know how long it's gonna take for her to go.
Oh, I'm thinking she's gonna end up dead.
Fair enough, but I'm like,
once they find out she's a double agent, is she killing herself or is Brennan having her done?
I'm also still on the
or Pascal.
Right, and but also now we know she's also working with Sidwell, so there's that.
Oh yes, there is that.
So
maybe Sidwell will take her out.
Maybe, but I'm still like, one, who is our mystery benefactor that Sidwell's working with? Because we now definitely confirmed that he's two different people. I
don't know that we call him a benefactor.
I'm calling him the benefactor. I'm questioning what the hell Sidwell wants with deception, because now he's asking for a bigger slice of the pie, and I'm like, Tracy,
money laundering.
Fair enough, but it's like, could it be more than that? And also, how is Lucy writing up a prospectus for this man, and she doesn't have, like, you don't have the deciding vote here. So go talk to Tracy, please, because Tracy's got the 51%. You don't. So all of that. So I'm wondering how that plays out. I don't really have a prediction for it, but I'm wondering how that goes. I'm like, we're now officially in September, so Nathan's got to come up within the next 2 weeks. I can't sit here for a month waiting. I can't sit here for 3-4 weeks waiting for Nathan to pop up. He's got to come in within the next 2 weeks.
I'm sorry, I got lost in my thoughts because it's like I'm still on the WSB. So Colette ends up dead or captured or whatever. And then my next thought was, well, Pascal's already dressed for prison in his clothes, so he don't need to change.
And also, here's the thing, though. Now Vaughn and Joss know that there's someone in the WSB who's a traitor, because, as Pascal said, it's like, we already have the box. We just need the code. So they're aware that someone's in the WSB has access, so they might already kind of figure, it's like, well, kind of everybody has access to the office, but if we really had to, like, narrow it down.
Yeah, and we did not get the payoff this week. Because at the end of last week, Vaughn and Joss, I can't remember what the words were that they said.
Game, set, match.
Yes. Okay, so what was that about? Because clearly that was some kind of code. You know, because I don't think Jocelyn gave them the right code, or else they expected that there was already some kind of setup.
Right.
So she and Vaughn, to me, were clearly on the same page.
Right. Maybe it's
in case somebody was still watching.
Right. Maybe it's that they're in the compound so they can get a little bit more information.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
So I want to know what that was about.
For real. Because even I'm like, Jocelyn, the man is about to get tortured. Don't give up secrets. He's like, shut up.
Yeah,
the mission in front of my life.
To me, that was all an act based on that conversation they had after.
Who knows? But yeah, I think that's about it. Like again, there's the Jason, or not the Jason, but there's the custody battle situation. But
yeah, that's gonna drag.
There's the one. Okay, actually, no. Here's one thing. Will Chase get out what he wants to say to Willow that from his conversation with the judge, or will he get called in for the judge's, murder, suicide, however they deem it to be? No, they might say murder because, again, the money.
Well, hopefully.
Because you want him to tell her. I think he should keep his mouth shut.
I want her to tell him first, and then he'd be like, what the?
No, because you said, I hope he tells her first, about the conversation from the judge.
Oh,
so
before
then
she knows,
right.
Before she knows that the judge is dead.
No, not before that she knows the judge is dead. Before she opens her mouth and tells about Drew, so it changes her mind and be like, actually, you know what? I don't need Drew. That's why you're saying, I hope he tells her first.
I did say that. I did say that. Yep. Now, after our conversation today, check what you get. You too chicken-headed and too hard ears. And hard ears you can't hear, bum boy, you gonna feel. Suck it.
All right. I do think Chase is putting himself at risk. Being too close to Willow. I get.
Oh, absolutely, because that's the next triangle fitting to pop off, right? Because Brooklyn all about Gio.
Right.
So,
but hopefully that situation gets resolved quick, because it appears that her situation with Gio will improve, not quickly, but at a more
favorable rate.
Yes. And they'll be back on the conversation of adoption over before mess done happen.
I just hope she has that conversation with Gio before
for sure
they proceed.
Agreed. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Hopefully the whole Gio situation improves very much before Chase Dunn does something stupid.
Yep.
Alright, I think that's about it for me. I have no more thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just wondering who's gonna kill Drew. I mean, so given the actor's life situation, which was probably or very likely resolved by now, I don't know, but having had his house burned down in a fire and whatever, you get killed off. It means you ain't working. Maybe he has another job lined up. I don't know. Besides the bridge, who knows? So, I mean, I'll be glad to see him go. I want him gone, but I also want to understand what is happening with his mind. Why did he turn so drastically?
Maybe that's what'll happen. Maybe instead of killing him, they'll put him in a coma, and they'll try to figure out what's going on with his brain and why he was like this. Because really, the change happened after he got beat up in prison, and we all know prison doesn't change people, either for the better or for the worse.
And I don't think it's the beating. I think it's the mind programming, but.
Okay, so maybe the beating did something to the mind programming, because
maybe they said something while beating him, or I don't know, but that needs to be explained.
That it does.
So yeah, all right. Well, you heard the rants here. I don't know if it was sassy or snarky, but either way, come back next week where we will have 4 days of soap
and 4 days of sass.
Have a great week, y'all.
Bye.